The first problem we'll look at is to get the factorial value of a number. To calculate factorial, what you need to do is get that number n and multiply it by every number up until 0. So for example, let's say we want to get factorial 5. So what we're going to do is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And this will equal 120. So this is factorial. For 0, we just return 1. Now let's go write the prototype in our .h, and then we'll write the body inside this file. Let's go to .h, and let's write out our first prototype. So we're going to write int, we'll call it factorial, and we'll take in a parameter int n. In C, there's a cool little feature. If you press the screwdriver here, you can press create definition in the functions.c. So it'll look for the file with the same name and it'll create your function in there. So if we click it, you'll see that it creates the definition here. First, what we're going to want to do is write our base case. Our only base case we need is right here. It's when our n is equal to 0, we're going to return 1. So let's write that out. Let's do if n is equal to 0, we can return 1. And then what we want to do is let's return n times, and then the name of the function call, so factorial, and we're going to pass in n minus 1 for the parameter. So now this will replicate the equation here where we have n times n minus 1. So we have n times factorial n minus 1. And this will keep looping over and over again until we eventually hit 0. And then once we hit 0, it will return 1. So now let's go into our main method and let's run factorial to see if we get the right values. So let's write out printf factorial of 5%d. And then to call the method, we need to include the .h file. So up here, let's write hashtag include, and then in quotes, let's get functions.h. So now we should have access to our file. If we press Control Space now, and we start writing factorial, we see that the method is right here, and it's located in our functions.h file. So let's click it, and now we can call it. So let's call it with factorial 5. And we'll say expecting 120. So let's do Control F5. Let's see if it works. Factorial 120. Perfect. Let's write out a few more different test scenarios. Let's just do factorial 1. Let's update this. We're going to do factorial of 1. Factorial 1 should return 1. Let's call 1. And then let's put another print statement by pressing Control C and Control V. And now let's also test factorial 6. Factorial 6 should return 720. So now let's put factorial 6 here. Before we run it, let's just do \n here to put everything on a new line. Now let's do Control F5. And we should get 120, 1, and 720. Now we can ensure that our factorial function is running properly.